Yeah, and I kind of like that. Even when you said that, you said it's going to balance itself out, but you also said there's no backup plan because there's some people I know who just drink. That 47-year-old that thinks he's going to be a rapper and works at Taco Bell because he's just waiting to make it big. Like, dude, you're 47, you got 3 kids, and you've been married twice. Nothing against that guy. I'm not talking about anybody in general. It's like, do you have a backup plan? What up is your boy Ferg, joined with my co-host Buff and Razi. This is Three Brothers No Sense. Fellas, what it do?
Denzel's finally retiring, y'all. He had a good run, but he did announce that he's going to be retiring after. He's got a few other things he's going to do. He's going to play Othello and a couple of high kind of Emmy worthy, Grammy, whatever it is, worthy roles, and he said he's going to be in Black Panther 3. So, but after that, he says he's done. I guess he's trying to pass the torch to his son or something, but he doesn't want to be that actor that's 95 years old still trying to get roles and stuff like that. He's made enough money, and he's going to go down as one of the greats. I mean, if not the GOAT of actors. So shout out to you, Denzel, for a lifetime, especially our lifetime, of just awesome movies and awesome roles. So good for you, man. I'm super excited for him. This last batch, I know we're gonna hit up all of them, or at least I know I will, just to kind of support and finish it out. But my saddest thing is we won't get another Equalizer out of it. I need a fourth one. What were you saying, Ferg?
I don't think I've seen Equalizer 3.
It was actually pretty good.
They waste no time getting to the killing on Equalizer 3.
I gotta see. I don't know. I might have seen it. I don't think so. But when Denzel retired, I mean, hey man, you deserve it. He deserves it. Hats off to your brother. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Because when I think of some of our greats, they continued into old age. I don't know, because I think about Morgan Freeman. And Morgan Freeman is everybody's Black granddad, father figure, God. Like, he just has that command and respect in every role he plays. And I would love to see, once Morgan Freeman retires, Denzel kind of pick up that mantle. I don't know. Can he pick up that mantle, Buff? Can he pick up the Morgan Freeman? I feel like that's gonna put there's gonna be a void in
narrated.
Yeah, narration and just black cinema where you have to have that old, wise, slow talking, just Black man that everybody respects and hangs on his words. And when Morgan Freeman hangs up the hat, who's next? Who picks that up? I feel like Denzel was the next person.
Denzel could do it, but Dennis Haysbert, his acting career isn't like Denzel's, but I think we already trust him from all those Allstate commercials, so I think he could. I think he could probably do it.
Yeah, he does, and he has the voice for
it.
Yeah. I don't know his true acting ability though. Can't name a film he's really been in.
Yeah, and you got Samuel L. that's getting up there, right? Like he can slow it down a little bit and just be kind of an authoritative figure.
Who was that, Razi?
Samuel L. Jackson.
But Samuel's like not that much younger. Samuel L. is just, he's more of an antagonist. He has perfected the antagonist role, or at least anti-hero.
Yeah.
I can't see him as the loving grandfather wise. He's that grandfather. He'll be in that role and then cut you out of like
he that old drunk uncle.
Yeah, he's more the drunk uncle. So
yeah, I can see that.
Hats off to him. And are you excited about him being in the Black Panther?
It depends on the role. He's in Gladiator 2 that comes out in a week or two, and surprisingly, he said he had a gay kiss in that, but they cut it out. So he actually kissed a man full on in the mouth, as he says. But they cut that out. But I think in Black Panther 3, depending on what role, I don't know if he's going to be like one of the ancestors or something like that. I think it'll be good for him to kind of just play that, like you say, that fatherly, older guidance role. Hopefully he doesn't do kind of the training day, kind of go that route.
The videos are already out of him being in Wakanda. Wakanda just sitting there with that Denzel training day. Every other role Denzel plays, no accent, and I'm here for it. Like, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What else you got for us, sir?
Speaking of acting and everything else, shout out to Colin Farrell on The Penguin. Man, he did that. The show in general, I know we've talked about it a couple times. The series finale, our season finale just came out. And man, it ends like on chef's kiss, man. It is a good show. So if you have not seen it, go watch it. I promise you will like it. You will not regret it. So any of the listeners out there, I know we've said it a couple times, but now looking at the entirety of the season, it's good, man. It's good. So I will put my stamp of approval on it. Go watch it. So, but if you still haven't, I'm surprised. The Soprano, The Wire, like that. Breaking Bad, like that's right up your alley. I'm surprised you haven't gone and watched it.
Well, it had a strike for me because I didn't like that Batman, and because he was from that world, I was like, I'm good.
You can never see that movie and still be.
Yep. Yeah, you can. It has nothing really to do with it. It's just he's from that world. And actually, after the season, I went back and tried to watch the Batman again because it took me 3 times the first time. Like I did not like it, and it literally took me 3 times this time as well. Like I would watch like 45 minutes, and I'm just like, I can't, and stop. And then I go back and watch the next part. And I just finished it tonight. I watched the last 10 minutes of it. It is bad, man. People are talking about it's a slow burn, and it's just bad. And so I agree with you there, man. But the Penguin has nothing to do with it. It really feels like it's just a gangster type thing. Like Penguin's just he's a Jersey dude. He talks like he's Jersey. It really feels like it's set in New Jersey. And then you got like that Italian mob family. It felt like me visiting my family in Jersey. Like I really felt like it was in real life. So it's really, really grounded. It's really good, man. It's not super fantastical like you would think a Batman would be. So even when you think Gotham and how they kind of start jumping the shark and going over the top, it really just feels like a gangster show.
Yeah, it definitely gives that HBO late 90s, early 2000s grittiness. From the creators of Oz, from the creators of any of those, The Wire, like all those, it falls in line with that. If you didn't know the story of the Penguin, and even with that, you don't know the story of the Penguin. Like if you never heard of the Penguin, and maybe I don't know enough about his character or his storyline, they completely develop who he is. Mm-hmm. So I'm impressed.
Yep.
Got anything else for us, Razi?
Only other thing, man, for the folks that love IHOP and the folks that love Applebee's, you now can go to one place and get IHOP and Applebee's because they have a co-branded restaurant that is opening in Seguin, Texas. I don't know how close that is to you, Ferg, I know Texas is pretty big, but that's where they're opening the first one. So Darden Brands has put those together, and they will have a joint restaurant where you can go get IHOP and Applebee's all at the same time. I'm just reporting the news, guys. I don't know.
Are you just like, do you get a newsletter, or are you part of a group or something where it's like, hey, here's some shit nobody else cares about? He was like, Lay's are coming out with a new plain potato chip. Like, Razi, all the stuff that nobody knows. They change the flavor of Lay's.
I know about all the snacks that's coming out.
Before they come out, like Twinkies coming out with one, they shoot glitter in your mouth and all that shit. You and Baby D on the same newsletter.
Nah, man, but it's investing news, really. I think it was on I don't. It was either on Forbes or somebody timeline like that, like a Wall Street Journal.
News, he said.
Darden Brands is a very large brand. It's like they're trying to revamp the brand. That's what it is. That's what that is. It's like, is the company going to make money off of this?
Are they the same people that own Red Lobster?
Yeah.
No, because Red Lobster actually got sold off. Remember, it got spun off. So Red Lobster, Darden Brands used to own them, and then they sold them. Darden Brands is the ones that kind of raped them and pillaged them and all of that. And so, but they spun them off. And so this new 39-year-old CEO or whatever is trying to come back in and change up Red Lobster. So shout out to him too. I mean, first thing he did, he scrapped the endless shrimp. And so they're really trying to do that. They don't anticipate closing any more stores. They say that they've stabilized, and so they have all of their stores make money now. He says now they're looking at organic growth, and they want to just kind of get back in there and make people think that Red Lobster is a nice restaurant to go to on Sundays now. Back in the day when we thought Red Lobster was just the junk. They want to get back to that.
They want to get back to Boondocks Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Exactly. So that's all I got, man.
Buff, what you got for us? I'm pretty sure your political antenna radar is just going off.
I don't mind talking about it, but I don't care about none of that man picks except for, Attorney General kind of made me kind of like, I was like, damn, okay, all right.
I know, right?
That's what you doing? All right. But nah, man, listen.
Is he going to get confirmed?
All of them are going to get confirmed.
He may do a recess appointment. Yeah, he may do he's asked for a recess appointment. So the Senate will have to be out of session for 10 days, and he can appoint whoever he wants. Now, it would be a limit on how long Gates could serve. It would be 2 years that he could serve. But I'm sure that's all he wants. Listen, at this point, I'm not saying there's not anything he can't do. He got the house.
The red wave is real, baby.
He got the house. Although he's going to have to stop plucking from the house. Because Speaker Johnson already told him, hey, man, stop picking all these House members for your cabinet or we're going to be back in the minority. So, but yeah, I don't care nothing about him. All I got is we just celebrated Veterans Day last week, and Maryland recognized Harriet Tubman. She is now known as General Tubman. Yep. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. I wasn't aware of some of the things she did with the military. All I know about is freeing slaves. So I thought that was cool. Some people kind of criticized it, but what is it?
Would you like to elaborate on some of her?
She did like intel, bro. Like she at one point, I forgot the exact number, but they went somewhere, I think in South Carolina, and they were able to like free a whole bunch of slaves. Like it was like in the hundreds all at once. They did something to where they was able to like hurry up and get on the boat and get away and something like that. So, but it was just cool, man. She did like a lot of intel type of stuff, and what's ironic is, we had that talk about putting her on the $20 bill during Obama's like last few years in office, and the full circle moment is when she retired from the military. They only wanted to give her $8. I think it was $8 a month for her pension versus the $25 she was entitled to. But they wound up settling on giving her $20 because her husband had served in the military as well. So they wound up settling on giving her $20 a month. And, that's the bill she's supposed to be on now. So I just thought that was cool because I learned something. All I know about is, her freeing slaves. I didn't know anything about her military career. Other than that, that's all I got, actually, man. Other than that, man, as always, just what up, Contentville. We're going to be combining on the website. People have been asking, for those of you that listen to us on Contentville via Inspire You on Air, people have been asking for ways to listen to past episodes. So Inspire You and Contentville are going to make it to where listeners can listen to past episodes. So if you're not able to listen when this episode drops on Mondays, it'll be just like, people that have subscriptions to podcasts, you'll be able to go back and to listen to, I think, up to 3 months worth of past episodes. So
we got a lot of episodes.
Yes. So be looking for that feature on the Inspire You on Air app. We'll let you know when that's official, but just want to let you know that. And as always, man, subscribe to us on any podcast platform, but also tell 5 of your friends or family members to subscribe and check us out too. That's all I got, brother.
So that was good, Buff. All I want to do is I want to take a second and do I guess what we usually do, a moment of silence for the students of Tuskegee University in Alabama. They had a mass shooting this past weekend at their homecoming where there was one fatality and 16 people injured. As of now, they've only identified one shooter who had I think a handgun that was configured to be semi-automatic, but they're thinking it's multiple shooters. So they're looking into that. Just want to take a moment of silence for them. All right. I've talked to a couple of people who are close to have kids there or whatever. And it's just, the kids are dealing with it. One of my friends, his daughter goes to Tuskegee. She was actually headed to the party and didn't go. But she knew one of the people that got shot. It was in her dorm and all this stuff. It's just crazy that gun violence is everywhere. When you think of college campuses and college parties, you hope that you can avoid that type stuff. But the world we live in is just sad and scary. So I don't know if you're probably closer to the situation, Razi. You probably heard more.
Yeah.
Anything you're hearing?
Yeah, I've seen the video. It was definitely more than one shooter. I can tell you that much. You could tell the switch was there. Dude had the switch, and you could hear that, but you heard a couple different, like maybe a rifle or something. The video shows it sounded like a war zone out there. It was much more than one shooter. And so I hope they find them. To your point, I've spoken to a couple folks that were actually down there when it happened. Luckily, everybody in my circle was safe, and they got, that I know of one of the Deltas from Tuscaloosa. She was down there. She was one of the injured ones down there. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, to think. But that's what these loose gun laws and everything else. That's what they breed. We've talked a bunch about those things should be illegal, and I think the switches are illegal actually. But they're just too easy. Like, how are they getting in to just some random street dudes having these, right? It's one thing for, drug lords and mafia members and folks that are super connected to be able to get to these, but like, you talking about random street dudes being able to have them. Like, they make jokes about the young niggas and YNs out there and all that, and like, just random little dudes have switches, and I'm like, how are you getting to this stuff? So it's sad, man. You guys know Birmingham is up there, like fighting for murder capital of the world, most worst cities to live in type thing for violence, and we feel it, we see it almost every weekend. It's a shooting, and it's pretty bad. And so I'm just hoping that we can, after these 4 years, we can do something about it, because we know nothing's going to happen in the next 4 years on any of this. So gun violence is just going to be gun violence.
I don't know. I don't think gun laws are going to be change it. I know, and I know Byron's going to scrunch up his face because people were talking about guns and drugs when we were younger, but like, man, they make guns seem like it's such an everyday thing now. Like random good kids talking about Dracos and shit. Like it's so polarizing. And I know Byron probably had the little Uzi pendant that everybody had back in 1994, 95. I feel like he did. But did you have the Uzi pendant?
Nah, no Uzi. I had my 4 Aces.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, Hazel don't play that. She won't let you have no Uzi. You know, but I just feel like it's become so popular now. Like these guns and all stuff like that's, these kids talk about it like it's nothing. So I don't know if it's
they
just
talk
ingrained.
about it because social media has made it cool to talk about it. Most of them won't pull a trigger though, and that's the sad part, is a lot of them act tough until they run up on somebody who will pull. You know, back in our day, we knew, right? You knew who would and who wouldn't, and you kind of played your role. You know, you might have to act tough a little bit just to get through in certain neighborhoods type thing, but you wasn't walking through like you was big and bad. Like now, they walk through like they got it on them when they don't. You know, and it's very, very different from when we were growing up. And again, man, I'm scared, right? Like for my daughters, Haley's down at Alabama State right now. She might have been, she didn't, but she could have gone to Tuskegee's homecoming, right? It's right down the street. And so like to think that she's out in those, when she's here in Birmingham, right? And she's going out and she's hitting the Finnick and everything like that. It's like, the shooting that happened 4 weeks ago now, where we lost like 4 people. That's a club that she goes to on a normal basis, and so like those are the things that worry me, right? I'm almost glad she's down in Montgomery now and not here in Birmingham anymore because of that. So it's scary, man. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, this is scary, it's sad, but you know, I'm not here to reprimand. I'm just here to extend my condolences and my prayers, and just hope that, like every time we talk about it, that somebody finds a way to fix this and answer that there was some progress. I don't think anything's gonna be fixed, but I think progress is what we're all just hoping for.
Yep.
With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Did we get? Oh yeah, Buff got all 3 last week. So, I got one that's real quick. Oh, do y'all want Sophie?
Hold on.
Yeah, let me jumping over my baby. Yeah. Oh, my bad. Hold on 1 second. Let me go get her.
Yeah, I ain't about to let you jump over Sophie.
You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
I know every operating system like the back of my hand.
When it comes to 5 years of experience and have worked with several people from your company, I've been recognized for my passion. My team is everything.
LinkedIn delivers candidates who rise above the rest. With an up-to-date view into shared connections, skills, and interests you won't find anywhere else. See why 86% of small businesses who post a job on LinkedIn get a qualified candidate within a day. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/achieve. LinkedIn, your next great hire is here.
Hello.
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 Greetings.
Greetings.
How goes it?
It goes good.
Non-bonnet Sophie?
Non-bonnet Sophie is not here today.
You are here today.
No, wait. I was double negative. I hate double. My teacher used a double negative on our Kahoot today, and I got the question wrong.
You gotta get used to them. People use them all the time. People don't not use them all the time.
I'm gonna fight you. Yeah, we're gonna fight. I hate double negatives. I despise double negatives. Me and double negatives are ops.
You and your, what is it? They call brain rot words.
I love those words.
Brain rot. Skibbity Ohio, Rizzler, Skibbity Sigma.
I have no idea what's going on. What happened?
Razi used a double negative. I know that much.
Yeah, and then I threw in some brain rot words like
I regret
Sigma
teaching
and
him.
Alpha and
I
Skibbity.
regret. I have so much regret for teaching him those words.
Don't hate me because you a big back.
I didn't use a double negative, Sophie. I think I used a random negative in a very weird place.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
All right.
Continue.
How do trees get on the internet?
They log on.
They log in. See, I was right.
Okay.
Close enough, bro. I'll give it to you.
You got to think fast for her too, because she
I'm gonna do it because y'all like to get it, and I don't like that. So maybe I don't get it.
It's about the joke being good, not about not getting it.
It is about not getting it. This is a constant race.
Use that one.
I already used that.
You did use that one?
Cheating, man.
Yeah.
That's that Macarella in you.
Okay.
And
All
that's
right.
a pretty basic joke. Everyone
Whatever.
knows that one.
Oh, okay. You don't want to be basic? You got to be
Basic
alpha.
unscrutiny.
You got to be alpha.
You're a beta male.
Bruh, these like Gen Alpha words are just it's the craziest, weirdest. I don't know.
I don't subscribe to it. I use one or two just to relate to the lamplighters, just to let them know I'm here. But outside of that,
Oh, okay. All right. So
what you got for us, Razi?
This one might be quick.
Yes, sir.
You guys know that Mike Tyson and what's his name? Paul. Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul are fighting this weekend, and I saw the documentary on it on Netflix. So they've kind of gone through the training and everything like that. I just wanted one predictions, and really, should Mike Tyson be fighting? Is kind of my question. I wanted to bring in a little boxing buff because this is your thing. And so I didn't know if you were going to go into it, but should Mike Tyson be kind of jumping back in the ring like this, and giving Jake Paul that kind of the I guess credit or the street cred to really box real boxers?
No. In fact, actually, no one should be boxing. Boxing is not something that a sane person should ever want to do. And for the record, I feel the same way about football, and I enjoy both. But it's just something about like I root for the Ravens now. Derrick Henry is 6'3", 245 pounds. I'm 5'7", 220. I can't tackle that.
At
full speed?
At half speed, bro. Let's be honest.
So no, he shouldn't be fighting because no one should be. But I don't know how to predict it because I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure how serious this fight is. I know it's 2-minute rounds. I think it's 10 2-minute rounds or something like that. And I know they are promoting it like a serious fight. But I mean, Jake Paul is 27 years old. Mike Tyson is 58, coming off a health scare just a few months ago. Dude said he was, what did he say? He was coughing up blood and he defecated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if the fight is serious. If it is serious, though, I would not be surprised if Mike catches him, because Jake Paul has been doing this for 4 years. Mike has been doing it all his life. Yes, he's old, but because the rounds are so much shorter, and all you gotta do is, like, as you age, you lose your quickness, you lose your speed. Your strength goes last. And he has the power to knock him out. It's just a matter of if he can catch Jake and if he can withstand Jake landing the punch. But I have no way of predicting this man whatsoever.
You gonna watch it though?
I'm with.
Oh yeah, I got Netflix. I'm definitely watching.
I'm with Buff. Unfortunately, I'll be at a Rockets game tomorrow. I didn't think that through when I bought these tickets, but I don't have a prediction. Actually, I just don't predict anymore after this last election. And those shit, what do the posters say? What's going on? Should he be fighting? I'm gonna say no, just because if he does lose, I think this could potentially tarnish his legacy even more. Just because now it becomes a joke, right? It's at one point, very, very long, not even one point, for a very long time, Tyson was considered the most dangerous man in the world. Mm-hmm. Like, you just do not want to. Tyson against Bruce Lee. It was always Tyson against give me your champion, right? And to think somebody like this, Jake Paul, who the hell is he, right? And he is 27, like Buff said. He does probably have the stamina. I doubt he has Tyson's power still at this point. But all it takes is the right moment, the right hit. And even what Byron said earlier with him having health problems, we don't know how serious that is. I would hate to see Tyson go out on this. Does he have a right to fight? I guess, you mentioned it last week about boxers wanting to go out on their shield. I just don't think this is the shield to go out on. Right?
Yeah.
And Tyson seems so unbothered, and it's kind of hard to explain. I think Tyson is like really serious about this, but he's so serious that it's almost a game to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
the more serious Tyson gets, the closer they get to the match, which is tomorrow. So by the time this airs, we will have the results. I think every time I see an interview with him, there's a look in Tyson's eye like he is ready to kill. And I think Jake Paul, every time they get together, accepts that and acknowledges this even more. And I think he's fighting for his life. Because for him, you got Jack beat by a 58-year-old. And not only Jack beat by a 58-year-old, it's Tyson. One punch might change your life. Like, if he gets knocked out the way he can, who do you think's gonna feel that more? Jake Paul will be forever known as a dude that got knocked out by Mike Tyson.
He's playing with house money too, because there's really Tyson is 58, but like, is he embarrassed if he gets knocked out by Tyson? Like, he's just like everybody else that got knocked out by Tyson.
Right. But it's going to be.
But if Tyson gets knocked out by him,
yeah, I get that. What I think is the fact that the way I'll push back is this is a meme gift ready world. Him getting knocked out by Tyson it's gonna be ugly.
But
it's going to look bad. And Tyson ain't had a knock. When's the last Tyson knockout?
90s, early 2000s.
Exactly. And so when you see this, and there's so much hype around this, it's somebody can potentially end up as a meme or a GIF.
I mean, I think they will, but I think Jake Paul, I mean, you got to think where Jake Paul came from, right? He's an internet sensation, right? Like he got popular because of the internet. Like, and so I think there's no such thing as bad media, right? He gets knocked out, he becomes a meme. He's a household name. Jake Paul. He can lean into it just like they do from like the reality TV shows and stuff. I'm a heel now and yada, yada, yada. And so I don't think there's a downside for Jake Paul in this at all. He got a whole lot of media attention. He got, he's probably going to walk away with $15, $20, $30 million because I can't remember what the fight purse estimated at, but it's like 60, 70 million, something like that. So he's going to get a whole lot of money. He's going to get a lot of notoriety. And then if he gets knocked down and he becomes a meme, he's cemented in everybody's mind as a meme, and he can lean into that and recreate himself. To Buff's point, I don't think him getting knocked out, he just is another person that Mike Tyson knocked out. They cement Mike Tyson as, hey, he is the GOAT. And nobody looks at Jake Paul as a serious boxer, or that I know of, that looks at him like, oh, he's a serious boxer. Even though he's called out, he's like, if he wins, he wants Canelo. Is what he said. So right. But again, boxing is a little bit of entertainment too, right? That's why they make their own, matches and set them and everything like that. If sometimes it's not the best fighter that is going to get the match, it's the one that can get me the biggest fight purse. And Jake Paul can bring a crowd and get a big fight purse. So I don't know if Canelo's going to do that, right? To be like, yeah, I'm going to give you a shot, but to do like an exhibition or something like that, you never know, because people still might go and see it if he wins. I've seen conspiracy theories about Mike Tyson's going to take a fall. I don't believe that whatsoever. I think Mike Tyson's going to go in there, he's going to fight, and he's going to fight to win. If he loses, he loses. I'm still picking Mike Tyson because he is Mike Tyson, and to your point, one good punch and Jake Paul is going down. He still probably has some of the most like impressive punching power that you're going to see. And Jake Paul hasn't been doing it long enough to get around it. So granted, Mike Tyson slowed down a lot, so maybe he can because of Mike Tyson. But if you look at some of his training videos, Mike still got a little bit of it. So I'm picking Mike.
Yeah, all he needs about 5 minutes of it.
Yeah. I'm still picking Mike, but to the initial question, I don't think he should be doing it. I really don't. And Ferg, you hit it on the head when you said it's the legacy of it all. I don't think he needs to be doing it because he does risk the legacy. If he gets knocked out, all of what he's done in the past may get overshadowed by him just being knocked out at 60 years old. So it's like, why did you go back in the ring? Why did you try that? And it does become a little bit of a joke there. Like, people are gonna start looking at him like a joke instead of the historical figure that he is in boxing.
Yeah, I think it took a long time. I think people are finally I'm not saying forgiving. We're getting past the ear biting thing and stuff like that. I think they're starting to respect his legacy again, his greatness, even though you can't take it away from him. Byron, you know more about the scene than I do. Now, when I think of Tyson, I don't instantly think about him biting off Holyfield's ear. But, this just adds another tarnish, and it's just like his last fights, his last memories are all bad. If he knocks the dude the hell out, good for him.
What scares me though is he knocks Jake Paul out and he's like, I can still box, and he wants another match. Because that worries me a little bit, is that we end up with like I don't know, a seniors boxing. Do they even have like a seniors boxing like tournament or like?
No, but we had that one moment where it seemed like they were all trying to fight again. Holyfield. Remember when Tyson and Roy Jones fought each other a few years ago? So, and Oscar De La Hoya was trying to make a comeback until he changed his mind. So, Manny Pacquiao still flirts with it.
They need some they need some stronger women. You about to do what?
Yeah.
Get your back in this house.
Yeah, and you know, I saw like the that Mike Tyson fight. That was a exhibition though, right? Like they weren't really in their boxing, like so. But to go back in and be like, we got like a seniors belt, and I'm going for the seniors belt, like that would just be wild to me, and it does kind of scare me a little bit if they kind of get to that. But I don't know. I mean, people like bum fights. Why not elder fights? So. Don't act like y'all ain't never watched the bum
People
fight.
like bum fights.
Matter of fact, I know y'all have watched the bum fights because we all watched the bum fight together in New Orleans right after graduation.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Yeah, we rolled up on that. Yeah.
We didn't go on YouTube or go to pay-per-view to watch bums fight.
So that's all I have, man. That's it. I just wanted your thoughts on it. We'll see. We'll round back. We'll come back around to this next week.
If somebody get knocked out, is it going to decision?
Again, depends on how serious it is. If it's serious, somebody might get knocked out.
Yeah,
Tyson.
He just slapped him at the press conference.
Yeah, Tyson seemed like he's really like. I don't think there's any way he's not taking this seriously.
Yeah. Tyson gets in a mode, right? Like he always talked about that. When he gets locked in, he gets locked in, and I do think that pit bull's in him. He's locked in. So we'll see. Most of his fights growing up, it wasn't. You know how like you look at Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather puts on a show for like the weigh-ins and stuff like that. You know, he's talking or whatever, but he can control himself. It really is a show to get eyes on it, to do the media so that we can actually have this fight person. Mike didn't do that. That's why he had Don King, right? Like Mike didn't do all that talking and everything. Mike was locked in, and I really think he's locked in now just like that. So it's going to be interesting.
Good question. I have two questions. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to ask. I'll ask this one since I spoke on homecoming. I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna ask a real quick question. I just need the first. Would you consider yourself safe? Like, do you think you've played it safe in life?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Razi?
I definitely think so. Yeah.
So, at homecoming, one of our guest speakers was talking about encouraging the kids to dream bigger. And it really made me think about that because I consider myself safe as well. And I asked, because when I think about the people who have done great things in life, and you know, it's all relative, right? They had to dream big, right? They had to accomplish those things. Do you think you dream big enough? And do you or will you encourage your kids to dream bigger than you dreamed? And if so, how do you still balance dreaming big with reality, right? Does that make sense? So, did you dream big enough? I say, make sure I get all my questions right.
Will you encourage your kids to dream big?
Yeah, and how do you balance that? Because it's like you can set some people up for unrealistic expectations, but is that, your fears that you're putting on them? Or
yes, and it'll sort itself out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I did dream big, but the people who become major success, I think we all dream big. I think what separates us are those that are willing risk it all, that are willing to risk failure in order to achieve that dream, that are willing to put in that work to achieve that dream, that are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that dream, and not even just do whatever it takes, but they don't even have a backup plan. Like, that dream is what they are going to accomplish, or nothing else is going to matter. I think that separates people at times. So I've dreamed big, but when you ask, have I played it safe? I am one of them people that have weighed, I'm going to take this salary job and be content with that versus risking it all and possibly losing it all to pursue a dream. Or I'm a dream big, but do I really think it is succeed? Nah, it's not. I ain't gonna worry about it. I ain't gonna put in that work. So I think that's a difference. So I would definitely tell my child to dream big. And it kind of ties into the third part of your question. You can encourage anyone to dream big. At the end of the day, it's either in you or it isn't. I can't make what was in Steve Jobs, what was in, even though a lot of people don't like him, what was in Elon Musk, or anyone who's become super successful or super creative. Can't put that in you. It has to be within you. You have to be brave enough and willing enough to be willing to do what it takes to accomplish those things. So I will definitely encourage her to dream big, but at the end of the day, it's going to have to be in her to truly pursue it, because nobody else can do it for you. So yes, I'll encourage her. And as far as how you balance it, it'll sort itself out. Like, you'll either sink or swim, or you just won't even get in the water at all.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. Even when you said that, you said it's going to balance itself out, but you also said there's no backup plan, because there's some people I know who just drink. That 47-year-old that thinks he's going to be a rapper and works at Taco Bell because he's just waiting to make it big. Like, dude, you're 47, you got 3 kids, and you've been married twice. Nothing against that guy. I'm not talking about anybody in general. It's like, do you have a backup plan? And do you just say, hey, it's going to sort itself out? Or you like, hey, are there some safeguards you put in place that you're like, hey, you got to pay to play? Like, here's some safeguards that I'm going to help you get. Go get your degree, then go pursue your dreams, or get this certification, go pursue your dreams. And 10 years from now, you can always come back to the certification or whatever. So I don't know if that was part of it as well. So, but
yeah.
Right.
Kind of saying what Buff said. Yes. And I do think it sorts itself out, but yes, I dream big. I think, and I don't know if I played it safe, because I've taken risks, right? I talk about the $5,000 that I lost trying to create an app, and it got swindled for it. I took risks, going there. But at the same time, I think I was just responsible, right? And that's where, I had Haley Young, and so when I got accepted into Citibank's program, internship program, it was like unpaid internship, not being able to pay my child support. Which one is it? And I was like, I got to be able to pay my child support. So I had to do the responsible thing. Right. And so it's things like that where you kind of, life just kind of sometimes some people get lucky. So just as much as his talent and his drive, it's luck too. You can have all the drive in the world, but you never get that break, right? The 47-year-old rapper at Taco Bell might be the best rapper out there, but he never got the break, right? He never got a chance to get in front of the right person or something like that. So there's always that too. So it's just kind of this series of fortunate events. But with that, I dreamed big, and they talk about the road to success isn't a straight line, right? Like, all 3 of us are successful, right? Like, when you really think about it. So we dreamed big, thinking Buff thought you were going to be like the next big rapper, right? And we were there. We were like, yeah, SWAT going to do this thing. And just that didn't work out. But you shifted, you pivoted, you said, okay, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do this. And you're very successful now. I mean, everybody can't be Beyonce and Jay-Z, right? There's only so many spots for that. But to be able to say, I lived a good life. I can pay my bills. My family's taken care of. Like that's success. And so I think dreaming big, you said it, Ferg, dreaming big doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be the superstar, right? Dreaming big, maybe I grew up in Pritchard, Alabama in a 2-bedroom house. That's where we started out, and I want more, right? I want generational wealth. I want to graduate college. I want to be the first person to graduate college in my family, like things like that. Like, I talk about my parents didn't even graduate high school. Neither one of them. Both of them got GEDs, right? And then to come and all 5 of their kids graduated college. And so we like our big dream wasn't necessarily to be superstars. It was to get out of the hood and make something ourselves. And so, I really feel like we dreamed big just doing what we did. And go ahead. You want to say something?
No, go ahead. No.
I was just gonna kind of keep going into the encouraging the kids, and that's what I would say to encouraging the kids is you dreaming big doesn't necessarily have to be superstardom, right? You don't have to be Bill Gates or whatever. What is your dream? What do you enjoy doing? And I think what I want to be able to do to encourage that is I want to give them the space to be able to do that, right? You talk about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Guess what? They started those companies in their parents' garages, right? You have to think about that. Like I have a garage for my kids now. Like, they don't have to get out of my house at 18 because I'm tired of paying the bills and feeding them and all that. And they stressing me out because of that. They can stay here as long as they want, as long as they're doing something productive. Right. And so I want to give them the space. Money and wealth actually create space for kids to be able to, you see it all the time. Rich people, their kids becoming artists and stuff like that because they're not thinking, I got to go get a job and get out of the house and I got to become a doctor or whatever. They can do things that's outside of the norm. They can spend 5-10 years trying to ramp up a business because, again, they're not worried about, I got to put food on the table and I got to pay my bills because my parents got that, right? And so if Ali was like, I want to be a chef and I want to open a restaurant, cool. And that restaurant might not be making any money for the first 4 or 5 years of it, but it's ramping up, it's doing better, and it's doing better. So I want to be able to give him the space to be able to do that. And so that's how I'm going to encourage him to think big. And so not only am I going to say, do whatever you dream big, but I'm going to be able to help him get there, not just from, get out my house and you go do it and you figure it out. And, I don't want my kid to be a starving artist. I want him to be okay, I'm going to eat this food that daddy made artist. Like, that's cool with me.
Listen to you talk about taking the internship so you could versus paying child support. That reminds me of Dr. Dre on Straight Outta Compton. Like when Ice Cube was like, yo, that contract ain't right, man. We don't need to accept that money. And Dre like, man, look, I got kids to feed, bro. I need this money. And so he couldn't afford to take the risk that Cube took, man. And I would just say, man, for anybody listening, especially young people, I think a good test, remember, like no test, like, what's the word? Includes everybody. But I will say, I think a good test, at least I think, is if you're the type of person that like to prove people wrong, because any idea you have or whatever, there's always going to be people that tell you, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's a good idea. Nah, that's not going to work. And if the first few people tell you that, and you're like, man, you're right. It's probably not in you. But if you thrive off, I believe in this. I don't care who says what, it's probably in you. And that's a good test on the type of person you'll be when it comes to pursuing dreams.
Yep. Man, I agree with both of your answers, and thank you for sharing. I'll be the naysayer. I'll change it up. I'll say no, and I'll explain my no. And I'll put the disclaimer. I agree with everything you said. It's like, we're all successful. We've all come from similar backgrounds, and we've accomplished so much compared to what came before us, and we're setting our families up for success. And our kids won't have some of the struggles we have and all this stuff. So I'm not complaining about my life at all. And I love my life. But when I look at it, when I think, because her message was to dream bigger. And I'm like, and I guess she kind of challenged us. So, and I don't know if you remember, I went to college to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor. That was my dream. And for a lot of people, that's dreaming big. But when I think about it, it's like, my dream was to be a doctor. But who's the highest doctor in the land? The Surgeon General. Like, did I ever say, you know what? I'm going to med school and be a doctor. I want to be the Surgeon General. I limited my dreams. And not saying anything wrong with it. It's like, so many times we just want to get we want to take, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, man, I'm at a 1. If I can get to about a 6, I'm good. A 7 versus like, man, what would it take to be the top medical authority in the country? And even if, even if I didn't get that, what's under that? What's the surgeon? Is there a Surgeon General in Texas? I don't freaking know. Is there, what are those things? Like, man, I ain't making a Surgeon General, but, I became a general. Like, I think, Razi, you had some high aspirations in the military. Mm-hmm. But, but think about it, it's like getting in the military is like, man, I want to be a general versus I just want to get in the military, I want to become an officer. And I think so many times I think about the people I know who've gone on to be C-suite people at large companies and stuff like that. It was something about them dreaming, and they made some of those sacrifices, like you were saying in the movie, where, hey, here's this for sure thing, but it's like, no, I see something. I can take this safe bet. And a lot of times I think safe bets for most of us was, man, I can't pass this up because I may never get this opportunity again. And I know where I come from. I know what broke look like. So I didn't take this first job out of college making $50,000 versus taking this internship that's going to pay me $20,000. But it's going to put me in the connects, and I'm going to be able to work with this rapper or this person in this field and all that stuff because I see myself being his CFO one day and taking over the company and yada, yada. Nah, dog. So you're saying they're going to pay me $50,000, give me a company car, expense account, and benefits? Sold. That dream accomplished, and I think about that, and I push my kids to, be the best versions of themselves and stuff like that. But also, like, am I teaching them to play it safe or play it too safe? What, both of them love art and things like that. Am I encouraging those dreams? Like, hey, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be an artist, go be the best artist. Like, is your goal to have your artwork in this museum and be known for this and travel the world just talking about your art? And like, what does that look like? Like, okay, this art thing is cool, but you need to go get a job, you need to do this, you need to do this. Like, how big are we encouraging them to dream? But then also, I guess, being a parent and always wanting to do what we think is best for our kids. Like, hey, this might not work out because a lot of times this doesn't work out. So you got to have those, those hard skills, those things that make life a little easier, regardless of if this works out or not. Hey, I was in the military, I learned a trade, I have this to fall back on, I didn't do this, I have a college degree. And it's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, I think I dreamed a 5 or 6 rather than like, man, can I take on the world? I never thought about taking on the world. And I feel like the people who took on the world are the people who, some people fall into greatness. Like, I don't think Martin Luther King, like, you know what, I'll have a dream speech and all this is going to happen, yada, yada, yada. He fell into that situation based off what he was doing. But people that become presidents, people that become CEOs of some of these companies, people who become these notable figures in life, I think some of them, they dream on a level that we can't, I'll speak for myself, that I never even tried because I've always been taught to play it safe.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I've been on panels with CEOs and rubbed elbows and talked with C-suite folks. Most of them didn't strive to it or aspire to it or set goals for it. Very young, right? Like, what happens is a lot of times you start accelerating and you like, oh, well, I'm 2 steps away from it. Maybe I can get it. I do want it. But most of them didn't walk in like, I'm going to be the CEO. I talk about, that's one of my dreams, right? I want to be in the C-suite, like, and very early I wanted to be in a C-suite. And so, but I think when you hear folks, these motivational speakers and all that, and they talk about stuff like that, dreaming big is different for everybody, right? Like certain people just don't want to be CEOs. They're like, I don't want all that responsibility. Like certain people dreams are, I want to be comfortable and I want to be able to play my video games 24, like after work. And that's my dream life. Like so for some people, that is the dream. It's like they don't want that responsibility. You talk about the hippies of the world and everything like that. They're like, I don't want to work unless I got to. So my dream is whatever I got to do not to work. And, and for those folks, they do enough to pay the bills and get them some weed and they're good. And for some folks, that is the dream. And it might sound weird to you, or it might sound like that, hey, that's dumb. But for some people, that 100% is their dream, is to just be like, I just want to chill. So like, don't doubt yourself, because, when you said no to you didn't dream big, I'm like, dude, I watched you give it all up, right, with Philip Morris and walk away and try to do your own company, right? Like I saw you grinding it out for a year or two, like trying to build a company and build a brand and all of that. Like, we were in Egypt and you were recording a commercial, like, oh, I need some footage so I can, have this for whatever the mobile thing that you were doing or whatever. But remember. It's you have constantly tried to do more, right? So I definitely think you dream big, and it's like you don't have to dream to be the president. I don't think that's what you ever wanted, right? But you always have dreamed bigger. And you wanted more and kept pushing yourself. So, don't sell yourself short in that.
Dream. And that wasn't my intent by anything. Like I said, I love my life. I love what's happening. I love the progress. I love what I see unfolding in my future. It's just when I think about like something, like I said, the medical field, like I want to get in this. And I think we all push ourselves, because we talk about money, we talk about certain things, and just never, it's like I never even thought about being the doctor was my dream, and I never thought about like, you get there, what's next? And maybe, like you said, once you get there, you start the things unfolding. You're like, okay, now I want to be Surgeon General. You don't start off as Surgeon General, like when you're 8, I want to be Surgeon General of the United States. It's, I want to be a doctor, and then become in the medical field, and you see these things, you start working in the hospital, and, it was just, I think her goal was not saying that you have to be the CEO, CFO. I think in our community, we're taught to play it safe. And her message was, hey, continue to push yourself. Mm-hmm. We'll get a good sales job, or we get it. It's like, hey, why not be the director of sales? Why not then you become the regional vice president of sales? Like, continue to push yourself because you have it in you. Somebody has to do it. And if you want me to work this 9 to 5, whatever, why not you? It's not for everybody, but don't discourage. A lot of times we say, a lot of people, like you said, they're content. I can very easily, all of us can be very content in what we got going on, but we continue to push the envelope on trying to figure out how do we make life better for ourselves and our family. And I think that's more so where I was going with that.
Yeah.
But
I
good
agree
feedback.
Yep.
Buff, you felt like you had something to say?
No, I just was thinking. I told my therapist if she wants to and never has time, she can check out one of the episodes, because sometimes she be asking me questions and I can't think of a good example. I said, but you know what? You should listen to the show, and you'll get a real good idea of what I think about certain things. But we've been working on my self-doubt. That's been like the main theme of our sessions is my self-doubt. So that question definitely kind of hit to it, because it's like, yeah, I've dreamed, but a lot of that doubt creeps in. It's like, it's okay, I'm good. So
first of all, you just threw like, yeah, I've been talking to my therapist. Like, We've been talking about therapy for 5 years. Like, congratulations, welcome.
Hey, I'm a procrastinator, but I get there eventually.
That brother just said it like, yeah, man. Yeah, my therapist. I'm like, what? Like, you didn't tell us? I remember you asked you made a comment about it a few months ago, talking about therapy and all this stuff. And it sounded like it was still kind of a naysayer at the last conversation we had. And therapy, it's an ongoing process. It's not like I'm in therapy now. I probably need to, I haven't had a session in probably like 2 months, probably because I think my therapist.
Wait a minute. Have I come across as a naysayer on therapy?
It was not necessarily a naysayer. It was just like everybody doesn't necessarily need it. It was bro, I think if you have the chance, I like a personal trainer. Everybody don't need a personal trainer, but they'll help you get the results you want a lot quicker than just you. Personal trainers they can be a nutritionist. They can be like all these other things that when you get in the gym, like I got an upper body day and I got a lower body day. And it's like, okay, that worked when you're 18, but now you're 43. You got to worry about this, and you got to do some supplements and all this stuff. There's somebody that can help you. But I'm happy for you. We ain't gonna stray away from this therapy session though. That's good, man.
I've already told her I didn't like her, so she's listening. I don't like you, but
you don't have to.
That's exactly what she said. But she's like, sorry, yeah, like me.
Do you feel like you'd be open with her? Like, do you feel comfortable with her?
Yeah. She made me water up. Did not cry.
Hey, so
cry.
Hey, man.
Hey,
my eyes watered.
Man, I used to cry so much in my therapy
I told her the
sessions.
difference. I said, crying is when tears come down your face. I said, my eyes watered, man. There's a difference.
Yeah, man. I think I've had too many therapy sessions on the show lately.
Yeah. But I hope she checks out at least an episode one day.
Nice.
I think it'll help her help me even more.
Yeah. Because Leah was telling me that she was like, she listens to the show mainly to get in my head, because I'll say stuff on the show or about what's happening that I wouldn't really verbalize or say to her. So I could definitely see, a therapist listening to us and be like, let's talk about what you said in the last show. So
yeah, I've encouraged my therapist to listen to the show. He's listened to a couple.
Yeah.
But no, I've had a couple therapy sessions. I played a few episodes ago. I think it was I Wish You Were Here. I think that was the name of the episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, for Z. And I'm like, let's turn it off. I don't want to hear this shit. But, I choked up.
Right.
I didn't cry.
It's a difference.
I choked up.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely, sir.
Cool.
No, but let's go ahead, and I think we're at that time, right?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and close it out, fellas.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit Rocket.com. Rocket. Own the dream.
Pepsid Complete knows that food is one of the best parts of game day. That is, until heartburn strikes. Thankfully, just one chewable tablet of Pepsid Complete provides dual-action heartburn relief with an antacid that starts working instantly and an acid reducer that lasts all day. So you can stay focused on that second helping of chili without worrying about heartburn. All day based on 8-hour symptom relief studies during the day. Use product only as directed.
Only thing I got, man, I want to shout out the neighborhood app. So if you don't have that and you're not a part of that in your neighborhood, you definitely should. And mainly because I had an escaped turtle. So what? Yeah, serious. It's a heartwarming story of a boy and his turtle. So we let Turt is my son's turtle, because he named him when he was 6, and he wasn't very good at naming stuff, so he called him Turt the turtle. And so Turt we put them out in the daytime when it's warm, and then we bring them in at night. And we raked the yard over the weekend, and unfortunately I left the gate open after we raked the yard, and so I put them out in the morning, and we were trying to get them, we go back out in the backyard in the afternoon, and he was not there. And when I say Oliver like burst into tears, like it was hurt. He was hurt. We were ready to like put up missing turtle posters and everything like that. And he was like, "What's going on? I'm worried about Turt. It's cold outside. He's gonna freeze." Like Ollie was breaking down. And I put it in. I took a picture, or I found a picture of Turt, and I put it in the neighborhood app. And maybe 20 minutes later, I had a couple of people DM me, and Turt was all the way on the other side of the neighborhood, knocking over somebody's trash cans. And they found them, and they had put them in their garage. And so at 10:30 at night, I was able to jump in the car, run over to their house, and pick Turt up. And so first thing in the morning, I brought Turt in, put him in his pen in Oliver's room. And so when Oliver woke up, Turt was there. Great. Them getting back together and everything like that. Great. But shout out to the neighborhood app, man. I know you have some Karens on there and folks is being nosy and all of that, but it really does help when you need the neighborhood to come together and help you out. So I just want to say shout out to the app.
Okay, well maybe I'll start paying more attention to missing animals, but I get so sick of those gunshot messages on the neighborhood app and the Ring app, and I just ignore them all.
And do you know who this is? Man, he has a FedEx uniform on. I'm just saying, it's late, man. It's 7:30.
You got anything else?
That's all I got.
That was the worst Lifetime movie ever.
Yeah, I'm glad Turt made it back. Although I don't know how you lost a slow turtle in the first place.
Only Razi.
I'm glad you got the damn turtle.
The turtle ran away, sir.
The slowest animal in the world, and he fucking lost it.
And it's cold, so they're
and he's knocking over trash cans. How big is Turt?
Turt is like 45 pounds. Turt is a big turtle. Like,
It's not a small turtle.
No.
Yeah. All right, man. So back in February, early this year, I remember coming on the show. I told you guys I read an article about a film called District of Second Chances, and it followed 3 guys who had been in jail for murder. And DC passed what they call the Second Chance Amendment, and then eventually extended it to Incarcerated Reduced Act. And basically what it is if you were a teenager and committed a crime and they could, prove that you were influenced by, well, I don't know if that part was true, but if you committed a crime when you were a teenager and you served at least 20 years and some more things, that you could be eligible to get out of prison. Because the Supreme Court said that you can't give a minor a life sentence. And then they extended it. They went beyond the teenage years. They went up to the 18 to 25-year-olds. I personally think 25 might be a little too old, but they extended it up to 25-year-olds. And if you've served at least 20 years, then you could get out. So it followed these 3 men getting out of prison. And I remember reading about it. I briefly talked about it on the show, but I kept wondering, like where am I going to be able to watch it? Is it coming on Netflix, whatever the case may be? And it just crossed my mind a few weeks ago. I Googled it and saw that it was going to be playing at the Alexandria Film Festival up here. So I was able to go check out the film, and the 3 gentlemen that are featured in the film, along with the director, were there. So I got a chance to meet them. Very, very, very cool experience, man. I'm not asking for anyone to agree or disagree on whether or not you should be allowed out of prison, even if you were a minor, if you should be allowed. But look, they did their time, and I can say all 3 of them say, look, it still haunts them to this day. They're getting a second chance. Their victims are not. They're saying all the right things, but they're also putting in the work, man. They're giving back. One is working at Georgetown University with a program they have there. The other two are in similar programs with foundations where they're working with youth that are on that wrong path, youth that are already in the system. Think The Wire season 4, but they're a little bit more effective than the program they tried on The Wire. But they are, trying to get to those kids that are getting in trouble now and trying to let them know, hey, this ain't what you want. So they're doing their thing, but it was cool to like really see the people that I read about in that article, man. So I really enjoyed that. And the only other thing I got is...
Can they run for president? Never mind. Continue.
I just want to send a sincere apology to Cable. Cable, I complained about you a lot. Your cost was going up, never could seem like I could find anything that I wanted to watch. Had all these useless ass channels and, just got fed up with you and cut the cord. And it's like, you know what? Streaming apps is the way to go. And I owe you an apology because streaming apps, all they've done is become you. We get ads now. The costs keep going up. I'm still finding it's coming harder and harder to find shows that I actually want to watch. And when you add up, because you got it right now, everything's on an app now. So you got to pretty much have all the apps, which is slowly adding up to be the same cost that you were. So Cable, you wasn't perfect, but kind of owe you a little bit of an apology because streaming apps.
Are you back to Cable?
I'm not back to Cable, but I just have noticed that the whole point of us paying for these premium apps was so we wouldn't have to see ads. And now they're finding a way to give us ads anyway. So, and then other than Netflix, most of the apps, the functionality is not as crisp as Netflix. Like Max, Disney Plus, God forbid you have to hit rewind because you crossing your fingers. You crossing your fingers on when that buffering gonna stop.
And it seems like I always got to rewind to a commercial. Like you rewind too far, you go back to like commercial. So you have a strange relationship with Cable.
Yeah, you know what? I got one more thing. I do got one more thing too. We didn't talk anything about the election for real, but I do want to say this. I know a lot of people on the left are feeling down, are feeling like, we are making a turn towards a huge conservative movement, right wing, this, that, and the other, and progressive policies have failed. I'm going to tell you this. After the conversation I had, and he will remain nameless, but after the conversation I had with a coworker who thinks that we don't need programs like DEI or anything similar to it at all. And I've heard a few other black people say this. And I'm going to just say this. Maybe the left, it worked too good. Because the fact that your black ass in this country think you don't need programs like that, that's the reason why you're at the job you're at now, more than likely. It's because of some type of DEI, affirmative action, equal opportunity type of program. But it's worked so well now that some of you Negroes think, oh, we don't need that no more because white America just loves us and accepts us for who we are. Yeah, okay. So don't fret left. Don't fret progressives. You're still doing your thing. In fact, you're doing your thing too well. So maybe some regression with right-wing policies will remind some people how we do need some progression in this country. Now that's all I got.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard too many. Like I tell you, I recently was talking to somebody, and as we continued our conversation, it slowly dawned on me, this nigga voted for Trump. It's nothing like that conversation. You like, I rocks with this person. And I'm not saying they're a Trump supporter, but some of the things they're saying and I'm not worried about this and we were worried about the wrong thing is like similar conversations like, all right, let's change this subject. But you were talking about Cable. So I'm going to continue the conversation on the strange relationships. I mentioned it before that I've been in a long-term abusive relationship with the Dallas Cowboys. As of right now, we are in an open relationship. I'm, kind of dating other teams. I'm back in these NFL streets, dating other teams, not committing to anybody, just serious, hot boy season. But I want to talk to all you bandwagon shamers. Screw you. I don't know where the rule became like you get to pick this one team and that's a team you got to roll with for the rest of your damn life. Dog, I became a Cowboys fan in 1985. I'm a grown ass man. I do what the hell I want. People are like, oh, that ain't your real team. You're absolutely right, but I like them. And I want them to win. And I might not like them next week because I'm tired of the coach. And I'm going to move on to the next team. So I just want everybody to know it's America. If Trump can be president, you can have more than one team. You know what I'm saying? If a felon can be president, you can have more than one team. Now that team can't be in your same division and all that stuff. Like you can't be in NFC East and all of this. That's just crazy. But get you multiple teams. All my teams suck right now. My college football team, Auburn, trash.
Same.
Y'all sound horrible. We need to.
I got something for them in a couple episodes too.
Auburn and Florida State needs to be in the nigga bowl. We can mess this up better than you can.
We can make it a trifecta because UAB it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. So, y'all almost surprised somebody and then came back and got y'all butt whooped.
Right.
I forgot who it was. Like, oh, I see UAB. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
UConn. We up 20-3. Come on.
Yeah. Auburn trash. Cowboys trash. FAMU there's just too much going on. They're sad right now. I just football is just not my thing this year. So I'm just debating. I'm kind of rooting for the Texans, but I want to commit to them. They're always a bridesmaid, never the bride type thing. Same with the Ravens. I'm trying to pull with your team, Buff. But I don't know.
That defense makes it a roller coaster.
Yeah.
No way. They terrible.
I'm liking the Lions. I'm liking the Lions. It feels good to be able to do get out there and date, man. You know what I'm saying? See what the market offers me.
Yo, Bo Money Jones did that. He's a Detroit. He got the hoodie and everything. He like, that's my team.
Yeah. It feels good, man. It's liberating. Why do you want misery for me? Why do you want people to be miserable?
Barbers and sports teams. Those are the two things Negroes think you supposed to.
That's it.
They choose that over a spouse. You're like, man, I cheated on my wife. Oh man, that happens. Man. I ain't a Cowboy fan no more. What? Yeah. Oh man, you a fake fan.
Dog, I heard you was rooting for the Giants last week, man. I don't root for them. I want them to beat the Dog, but you can't root for another. Dog, just where are the rules? I want to see who made the rules. Who gave them the power to dictate?
They've always been there, bro. They've been there since medieval times.
That's somebody told you wrong. I'm breaking the rules. And last but not least, we mentioned them. I don't know if we mentioned them on the show. We just mentioned them in our group text. I went to the Ali Sadiq comedy show this weekend. That brother is one hell of a storyteller. I'm jealous. I laughed the whole time I was there. It's just he does it so flawless. His mannerisms. I've much success for that brother. Even though some people think he's struggling out here in Houston, which was a whole nother section of jokes. It's just God bless that brother. He put on a good show. Everybody laughed. So, and he packed out the show at the theater here. So with that being said, I mean, Three Brothers No Sense. Oh, and happy line anniversary. Just passed it for the Q17. Celebrated 23 years. And happy Founders Day to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Razi, I don't know if you know, like, we were founded November 17th, 1911. So I'll talk to you offline. But when the show drops, we will be finishing up our Achievement Week. Most bros, we'll be having an all-day church service and Bible study this upcoming Sunday. So if they come home a little late or they're a little they're kind of out of touch, that's what's going on. I think it's I don't know what they do in Birmingham, but it's kind of like a phone-free zone. So don't call your Q friends on Sunday because we'll be out here Bible studying in church. Wholesome cues.
Wholesome cues.
With that being said, 3 Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.